Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Last year is done, new story getting told. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. They say he's uncoachable, can't get right. AJ in New England, now that deal is done. Lemons got the green light, pick that number one. Benny in the coordinator, put your fears to rest. Patello playing checkers, why this dude is playing chess. AJ finally traded and the hype train's broke. Rabel's back to coaching and Ruzini's catching smoke. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Ain't no time for fakers cause your boy is bleeding green. Sources leaking stories but you know it's all cap. Coach Marcus on the mic and he's shooting all facts. Search trending topics, information moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk. With the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Pro fan talk. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. Pro fan talk.
I ain't done that in a while. What's going on, y'all? What's good with you? We're back on the grind. Was out. Wasn't feeling good on Tuesday. I had to call out. I had to put myself on IR for me and Tone's show. It was crazy, man. Caught a bug. Caught something. Thought it was the diarrhea stuff, but it was not. But it was like a 24-hour bug. Maybe got some bad food or something. I don't know. But it wrecked me. Had me throwing up and whatnot, fevers, chills. I went through the whole gamut. Man. So I'm just sitting here. Got the Indiana Fever game on the other screen, watching them slog through all of this. Oh, you like the old school shirt? Appreciate that. Yeah, I still rock my Kelly Green with the old school logo every now and then. I still got my logo up there. I still got my original jersey. I think I've showed you guys that before. Still in the wrap. Yep. That's an original. 1993 away jersey. I think my mom lost my home jersey in the move. But in any case, what's going on with you? We got 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks is not long, man. It'll be here before you know it, bro. We almost in August, dude. So, like, no, this is going like super quick. We was in freaking February a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Good shot. We were just. It wasn't not long ago, man. We was just coming through May and Mother's Day, and you know, this year keeps moving, and it's moving very quickly. So those 2 weeks will be gone before you know it. A lot of news. If you guys caught my last video, check it out. More drone footage talking about the listings and the rankings, all of the stuff that is utterly useless, all of the stuff that it's just clickbait, man. And I figured out that the networks and everybody that runs this stuff and that feeds it, it's all because, ooh, good steal, Caitlin. Hit it. Oh, she cannot hit her threes. Good shot. It's all like freaking. It's all media driven, in my opinion, because they weren't talking about this 8 weeks ago. They weren't talking about this 4 weeks ago. The closer we get to the actual start date for training camp, the more they want to talk about it. And they've done it since 22. 21 didn't count because nobody ever thought in a million years that the combination of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni was going to take somebody to the Super Bowl. Nobody thought that. That wasn't on anybody's bingo card. So when Jalen Hurts came to town in 22, and then AJ Brown got here, and Jalen, remember, Jalen was second place for the MVP. He was runner up. So Jalen was doing some things, man. And but everybody just assumed that it was a one-off. You know what I mean? They just thought it was a one-off. He had one good year. And what did they say after he outplayed Mahomes? And we were one bad play away from, having that victory, one bad call, I should say. What did they tell you about Jalen Hurts? Remember that famous picture of him walking off the field with the confetti? What did they tell him? It's so hard to make it back. He did good, but it's so hard to make it back. And, after a year or so, maybe the Eagles are going to, draft somebody else to be able to take over the franchise. That was the sentiment. They didn't say those words exactly, but they might as well have said it. Because that was the sentiment. That was Jalen's one shot. He was lucky to be there. And it wasn't going to happen again. So, he just proved everybody wrong. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Everybody will find a way to hate on Jalen Hurts. He's not the type of quarterback. And this goes all the way back to Alabama when they wanted Tua. Then Tua came in, and then Jalen came back and then transferred, and all of that type of stuff. Man, he was just not the type of quarterback that was gonna lead a professional team to a championship. Now he can lead a college team. He can lead an Oklahoma or Alabama. That's college, but he's not gonna be able to do that at the NFL level. His skill set doesn't translate at the highest level. You heard that type of talk, man. And it was all over the place, and everybody was just fine with that. And then at the end of the day, it's like, listen, you gotta let him play. You gotta get on the field, take the snap, and then see what he can do. And lo and behold, he showed some people some things. And then when they didn't believe it, he came back and he did it again. You know what I'm saying? So just one of them crazy situations, man. One of them crazy situations. And it's continued on the major networks, ESPN and Fox News and all that kind of stuff. Because really, who's the major sports network now besides ESPN? ESPN and Fox? ESPN and Fox. And who else is it? I don't know. What's up, Justin Long? I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate that. You like the drone footage, man. I'm trying to do some more stuff with that, working on my graphics and After Effects. I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate the feedback. So, when everybody puts their lists together, here is what they need to add with the asterisk. They need to put an asterisk on all of these lists, and they should say these lists are compiled specifically by height, weight, arm strength, accuracy, and draft potential. They should say that. They have to have those things listed specifically, because when they come up with these lists, that is the only thing they're going by. How tall somebody is, how far somebody can throw, what their arm strength is like, and what their draft potential was like coming out of college. Were they a big college star? Why you think Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence get so many? Why is the leash so long for those guys? That doesn't make sense. And not for everybody else, and everybody else that has won. I mean, they wanted so badly for Josh Allen to win the MVP that they gave it to him. They did not want Lamar Jackson to win the MVP for 3 years in a row, when everybody knows he should have got the for 3 years in a row. Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback in the league for 3 years running. But they just had to give it to Josh. They just had to give it to Josh. So, and then what did he do in the playoffs? Throw, 4 turnovers. I guess that comes with the leash. That comes with the leash. Being able to make mistakes, be able to turn the ball over. How many times has Josh Allen had a game like that? How many times has Josh Allen has gotten I believe it's 2 coordinators fired, right? 2 coaches fired. And it all comes down to what he does when the game matters the most. If he ever messes around and does win a championship, they are going to anoint him the best thing ever. They're going to try to. They're going to try to put him up there with Tom Brady. That's exactly what they're going to try to do because they love Josh Allen for some reason. He's got the height. He can run. He got the arm. 6'5" dude. He's got all of those check boxes. He checks off all the boxes except the one that matters. Does he win in crunch time? No. Those are yes, no questions. And that's the one that matters the most. But that is the question that nobody really wants to answer. Is he good in crunch time? No. And in both situations, well, I should say in the situations where Josh Allen failed in the playoffs, right? It wasn't it wasn't his team letting him down. Now you could argue Lamar Jackson, if his receivers and his tight ends could catch the ball, he'd have been in the Super Bowl. So he did what he had to do, put the ball where it had to be. Now there are some that could just, they can cherry pick his bad games and things of that nature, and that's fair. I'm not trying to say he didn't play bad, but when it was time to deliver, he put the ball where it had to be, and his receivers didn't catch it. 2 years ago, his receivers dropped the ball. And then one season ago, the tight end drops the ball in the end zone. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. So I don't know what people want to see from, no, I take that back. I know what people want to see from Jalen Hurts. I know exactly what they want to see. They want to see somebody throw 4,500 yards. That's what they want to see. They want to see that big statistical boost. That's what they want to see. They want to see that big statistical boost. So they can say, hey, this guy threw for X amount, 1,000 yards or whatever. Yeah. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. So, it ain't that hard to figure out. But since he doesn't have that, everybody wants to, like, he can't do it. And that's the funny part. That's the funny part. Like he I'm trying to log in to get stats from my NFL account and it's not letting me in. But in any case, they just don't want to. Lamar kicker failed him. Yep. You're right. You're absolutely right. So, I mean, the Lamar situation, they put the quarterback put him in a situation to win. Josh Allen did not. But why does our guy get penalized? Oh my God, Mo Billings is just god awful this game. Good Lord. Yeah, I'll open the mic a little bit, Chris. So, but they do this. I mean, we used to this. It gets annoying. It definitely gets annoying, man. So, but you're not going to change people's opinion. This is what drives the traffic. And like I was saying, the networks, it really right now the network is ESPN. Like where else? And I'm asking this as a question. So put your answers in the chat. Other than ESPN, what channel do you watch on television? specifically on television, because the decline of terrestrial media and old school media is pretty much at its peak. And it's not slowing down. Hell, most people even consume ESPN and all of those shows on YouTube. They rarely watch it on the television. So everything is coming from social media. Everything is coming. And you can't deny it. So when ESPN, if they're the number one resource on television, everybody's still getting those narratives. Why you think Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee and all them people got podcasts, and everybody on ESPN got a damn podcast? Everybody. There is a online element for every show on television right now. And it should be. Oh God, Natalie Chan with the circus. So, I mean, and it should be right now. So, Justin, who's on Fox that you watch? I don't even watch Fox anymore. I used to, but I couldn't tell you who was on their football show. Is that the one that Chase Daniels is on? He used to be on ESPN for a hot second. And then I guess Fox, and I don't know, is Skip Bayless still on Fox? I have no idea. The only shows I watch right now, I watch Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman, and what's the other dude's name? He's a Jewish guy. I forget his name. But Unsportsmanlike, that usually comes on at like 6 a.m. So a lot of times when I wake up, that's what I watch, Unsportsmanlike, because I like Chris Canty, and they pretty much have an even keel on what's going on. At least they do, in my opinion. I don't watch First Take. I don't watch Get Up. I don't watch. The only other show that I watch is, what's the one with Nick Wright? Nick Wright and Chris Broussard. I forget the name. Is that First Things First or something like that? And let me be honest with you. The only reason I watch that show, is because me and Chris Broussard were friends when we were little. When I was growing up, we both come from Cincinnati, lived in College Hill, Ohio, a little suburb of Cincinnati, Ohio. We lived on Capri Drive, and we literally lived right across the street from each other. I got a picture somewhere in my archives of me and my twin sister turning like 4 years old, and there's Chris Broussard and his little brother Terry. So, or was Terry the older brother? I always forget. I think Terry was the older brother. But yeah, that's the only reason I watch, because Chris Broussard is a homeboy. So, and I like Nick Wright, but sometimes Nick Wright goes, is that what it is? First Things First? Okay. I used to listen, let me be honest with you, Justin. I used to love Colin Cowherd. I used to watch Colin Cowherd. I used to listen to Colin Cowherd before he had a show. I used to listen to him on what was it called? What was the platform that what's your boy that used to own the Mavericks? That's on the reality shows now. The money reality shows. What's the owner? He got his claim to fame because he started one of the first online streaming services out down in Texas. And I used to watch The Ticket. I used to listen to The Ticket. When I really got into hockey, I was listening to the Flyers, and when the Dallas Stars won the cup. So, but I started listening to Cowherd because I would listen to all of the Texas stations. Mark Cuban, thank you. Mark Cuban. So I used to listen to Cowherd a lot. I can't stomach Cowherd now. Like every now and then he'll say something good, but just like, damn, man. Like they flip-flop so freaking much now. It's not even funny. They flip-flop like crazy. And what it is what I figured out is what they do is whatever the hot topic is, whatever the narrative is, they follow the narrative, right? But what they do is they will say just enough to counter their own point they'll say just enough. So if it does go in the opposite direction, they got just enough content to say, well, remember when I said this? Now he got 99 things going in one direction, and he said one thing to counter it. But if it goes that way, he got the content to back it up. And by the time it gets to that point, everybody forget about it. So it's crazy, man. It is. Everybody's flopping. Everybody is flip-flopping, I should say. And it's just hard to listen to, especially all of the guys that say they watch the games, but they don't watch the games. That's always funny to me. That's always funny to me. So, it is what it is. It is it's a bad foul on AB. Yep, she flopped. But anyways, yeah, undisputed when Skip and Shannon fell out. And let me tell you something. Shannon Sharpe is a good one because Shannon Sharpe got that fire. And Shannon Sharpe ain't one to pull no punches. So I thought it was interesting where Shannon was quick to tell somebody else, like if I see you, it's on site. Like he's quick to go there. So I was curious as to, and I mean, I'm saying that and I know the answer, but it's not too many times where somebody's going to disrespect you on live television and you get away with it. So Skip crossed the line, but Shannon let him. So, and guess what? Shannon ain't missing no meals. You know Shannon Sharpe don't give a F. He done had his own scandal on his own channel, dropped all of his sponsors, and still came back winning. That just shows you the power that and the reach that you can have on YouTube, on the internet, when you are a personality that people like. They will give you that same long leash. So, he's one of the ones that's a powerhouse, and he's doing this. When he did he was doing this club Shay Shay and all that kind of stuff. Now he just got to streamline him and Ocho. And who was the other guy? Is that Joe Johnson? I think it is. But props to him. He went through what he went through. He took his lumps and was like, I ain't changing nothing. And he didn't change a thing. And he had the people on this show. And ever since that Cat Williams interview, Shannon Sharpe done blew up. And Shannon Sharpe, there's more people tuning in to him than all of them are reality shows that would be on TV, Maury, and all that other kind of nonsense. Because it's the same type of vibe, if you think about it. It's the same type of vibe. But he got a loyal following. And he getting paid. He probably making more money now off of YouTube than he made in the league. If you probably could count on like a week-to-week basis, like the amount of subscribers and the viewers that he has, that's how you. Trust me, I done did the math. I'm trying to grow my audience, and y'all know I've been trying to grow this audience. So when you can go live and you can get well over 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people to listen to you, to stop what they're doing and listen to you for 2 hours. That is, yeah, I'm trying to get there one day. So yeah, just in case you need to know, tell your cousins, tell your play cousins, your mama, your daddy, your auntie, grandmama, all her kids, everybody. Tell them to tune into the show, send them the link so we can get these live audiences big. Because that's where it's at. And guess what? I got more sense than a lot of people that's talking on television right now. I believe that for facts. Because don't nobody do no homework no more. Don't nobody vet any information anymore. Damn, Caitlin Clark is scared to shoot. So, it's that's just where we are right now. That's just where we are. It's the a lot of the television stuff is going downhill because a lot of the television stuff can't figure out if they want to be online or if they want to be um, terrestrial, and they crossing the streams, and it ain't working for them. So, um, come on, Sophie. Good hustle. Get back up. So yeah, that's that's the way it is, man. And it's back to the just to kind of cross the lines real quick. Like I hear all the stuff that's going on with the everybody going up in arms about the Sixers and all that kind of stuff with LeBron James coming in here. And I hear this stuff talking about would it be a fake championship if LeBron wins it in Philly? And I'm like, y'all sound stupid as hell. A fake championship. I ain't never heard of such a thing. A fake championship. If they got to play the games on the same court, that they got to play the games on the court. That just happened to be the people on our team, and you got to roll with it. Oh my god. So I don't know. I don't know how people come up with this stuff. NFL Live, yeah, but I don't think Xfinity has the NFL Network no more. I think I gotta re up my NFL alumni subscription to NFL Pro because NFL Network is not on Xfinity. I don't think because last time I tried to find it, it was gone. So maybe I need to check on Amazon Prime. Who knows, man? Uh, Mina Dan, I like Mina Kimes. I am a fan of hers. I like Marcus Spears. Um, yeah, I like that group. I agree. Laura Rutledge, I like that group. Boogie, is that what he called it? Boogie. I do like that group. Um, so it's a little bit, but my biggest thing right now is, damn, Golden State is lighting Indiana's ass up. My biggest thing right now is I just want people that are, if you on TV or if you on YouTube, on the radio, traditional podcast, whatever, do your homework. Do your homework. There's too many people going off of sources, and it's too many people nowadays, especially after everything we just went through with AJ Brown. It's too many people being cryptic. It is too easy to say what you mean and mean what you say. It's very easy to make it crystal clear. Anytime anybody, and this is my opinion, anytime anybody is saying something and it's not crystal clear what they are saying, that means they're doing that on purpose and they don't really want to say what it is. It is too easy to. It's too easy to. I used to tell my kids this. I was like, you ask somebody a question and then they'll say, well, to be honest with you. And I'm like, don't ever say that. Because if somebody comes to you and say, to be honest with you, does that mean you've been lying the whole time? Like, I hate that. Like, what would you expect me to think you were going to be? So you just think I'm going to believe that you lying to me all the time. Don't ever say to be honest with you. Because you should be honest right off the bat. So it's crazy, man. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what these people are going to talk about these days. And you never I don't know, you never know where it was going to go. And I didn't see well, I should say it hit me, and that's the wrong way to say it. I don't want to say it hit me the hardest, but it was never a more clear there was never more clear evidence than when, and you guys have heard me tell this before, when Andrew Whitworth was on the Kay Adams show talking about Saquon Barkley and the struggles that our offensive line was having. And his advice was that Saquon Barkley needs to run harder. And immediately I was like, he didn't watch the games. He didn't watch the games. No way he watched the games. So, and I've seen that a couple times before. I've seen people give like the little 30-second update of the scores and stuff like that. And sometimes they try to give a little update, not an update, but a little, little news about how the game was going. Try to fill in the gaps and give you some context. And I remember this one guy, he was talking about the 49ers, just what's the name? Justin what's the quarterback they had before they traded him to Dallas Cowboys? Was it Trey? I can't remember his name. He was with the 49ers. They traded him, Trey Lance. And it was the last preseason game. They started him, and he had a very rough first half. Second half, he brought San Francisco back to win the game. But the little 30-second blip only talked about the bad first half. And it's like, if you're given that, either you recorded it earlier in the game and didn't update it, or you didn't watch the game. Because he had a brilliant second half, brought 49ers back, got the dub, and like I said, had a brilliant game. But all they talked about was his struggles in the first half. I was like, come on, you can't give me the final score and then only talk about one half of the game. That doesn't make sense. And ever since then, like I try to listen for stuff like that. You try to listen for it because once I realized like what they do, and I saw this, I was watching the Eagles game, and I'm friends with Mike Quick. I see him at all the alumni events. I've called Mike before, and he's picked up the phone. That's why I can say somebody I know is a friend of mine. If I can call you on the phone and you call me back, or you pick up the phone. And I asked Mike, I had asked him some advice about podcasting or something like that. But my point is when I watch the Eagles football, and a lot of times I will watch the game but have the radio on so I can hear Mike Quick and Merrill Reese. But when if you ever see that shot in the booth with Mike and Merrill, look at how many people they got like in the background. And all you see is somebody behind Mike and somebody behind Merrill. All they're doing is just putting papers in front of them. That's all they're doing is putting papers in front of them. They got a whole crew of people. All they do is gathering information. This is what the next commercial is about. This is what the next 30-second spot is about. This touchdown is brought to you by, Jake Elliott kicks a field goal. Everybody gets a free hamburger. And they got all of that stuff. And somebody's just shuffling information. If Saquon Barkley busts a 50-yarder, they got all of the stats and the little hidden things that they got about that play. And the last time he got a 50-yarder in the third quarter with a lead, they got all of that information. They just got somebody shoving facts in front of their face. That's how the machine works. But they do that so they can make Mike and Merrill look good. They know what they're talking about. So when you get all of that information, you realize that these people don't know everything. Far from it. Very far from it. But when they put when they put them on TV, and while they are on TV, they act like they know everything or everybody else is wrong. That to me just drives me nuts. The Mace School of Analytics, of analysis, yeah. So. Indiana Fever looking horribly. So, but anywho, man, I don't know. It's a year-to-year thing now that you get triggered by by all of these rankings. Jalen Hurts is ranked 17. Okay, we'll see how it's ranked at the end of the year. Let's see who's in the playoffs. Let's see who's not. That's how I should take the rankings, But. It is what it is. So now how they call yeah. But anyways, let me see. Let me drop this link in case y'all want to come on. Because I said I would do it. Do it. I looked at the somebody posted a video. Tiffany gave it to me about I forget what the guy. I got it on my Twitter page. It was somebody that was just running down all the new acquisitions we got, and their thoughts. And that was actually some really good content. I'm gonna go over. This is people that I'm looking to see what this is the year. What are you gonna do? Nolan Smith. Are you gonna take another step? Trot Jr. and Hod Campbell. What are we gonna see there? Because that's a battle. That's a battle. Trying to think. We know what we're gonna get from Quinyon. I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna get from Reek Woolen. And we got some good backup vets too. So we'll see. Let me see. I'm dropping a link right now. Somebody had a question. Why do people on NBC Philly and Philly Sports act like Jalen Carter isn't one of one? They can't be that mad at the spit. Some of them can be. Some of them can be. A lot of people don't forget stuff like that because they want to remember whatever it is they want to remember. Let me say it like that. If it's somebody you like, you highlight the good stuff. If it's somebody you don't like, you remember the bad stuff. If you don't like Jalen Carter, everybody's going to bring up the spit. If you do like Jalen Carter, everybody's going to bring up him jumping through the legs trying to intercept the automatic down and spike it. So it all depends on which Jalen Carter, or if you like Jalen Carter, you'll bring up the positives or the negatives. Everybody got positives and negatives, but that's my answer to that. You got some people that don't like him for whatever reason. So when people want to debate about the team, I talk about back. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it is what it is. People they're always gonna put their 2 cents in it. It is what it is. Talk to my man Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's good, Coach? You got me?
Yeah, man. I had to get back on tonight. I was a little late tonight, but after what I went through yesterday, I was like, I got to get back on the mic.
Oh, shit. So, it's all good. The later you go sometimes, I know it's over there later, but for me, it's all cool on the West. So I'm straight when you go later. I'm all good. But I was going to say, a couple things. I know, in my opinion, them rankings, the media got to do what they got to do. I mean, you know all about content creation and stuff like that and what goes into that. But I just feel like them things don't really mean much of nothing. I just hate the fact that I feel like we get riled. Well, some people do, some people don't. But we get too riled up over that stuff, and it don't mean much of nothing, in my opinion. The games is going to be played in between the lines, and that's going to be that. But I will say, if, in my opinion, because we know the knock on Jalen with some is that the passing numbers is this and that. But I'm like, my thing is, if we say, the passing yards ain't that important or whatever, they're not all that people make them out to be, then I just feel like on these lists, this is what you're gonna see. You're not gonna get that type of respect because it's just the nature of how these lists are compiled. 17th is crazy. That's way too low. But if our passing numbers the past few years, if it was 29th and 20, whatever it was, they're not gonna look at that and give him much respect. I even saw Smitty, they ranked him at his position 22nd, and it's we know the type of talent Smitty got, but they're probably looking at it like you always say, they don't watch the Eagles every week. So they're going to look and be like, well, this guy's the second rate. He's the wide receiver 2 in an offense that ain't that prolific passing. Where are we supposed to put him? Because all them other guys that you see, the Jamar Chases and the CD Lambs or whoever else, they're in offenses that we know throw the ball a lot. So I just feel like we shouldn't really get too worked up about it because, in my opinion, if we say, and it's cool, passing numbers ain't this and that, which is not always what people make it out to be, even though I do think it can help and be productive. But if we say that, then I'm like, on these lists, what do we really expect? Jalen ain't gonna get that type of love. That's just what come with it.
Nah, you're right. And that's and for me, that's the same reason. The same reason I don't care about the list is the same reason I tell people to kind of pump your brakes during preseason.
Right.
Because it doesn't mean anything. You're not going up against starters. You're not playing the offense yet. All of that stuff is
yeah.
You're gonna see what you're gonna see.
Facts. I mean, you said that even when it came to Mekhi Lemon back in I don't know when that was in May when they were going through whatever they was going through camp or whatever. You're like, he looked good and everything, but they in pads and against nobody.
Oh my God, that drives me nuts.
Yeah,
like everybody, they had them running warm up drills in slow motion.
Yeah, and
there was like, this guy looks like the quickest thing. I was like, stop.
Yeah, it was a few people that was like, man, he looked like Devontae, man. You see how quick he came out of that cut? You came on, it was like, man, they were in shorts and some t-shirts, man. Like
shorts and shoulder pads, man. Stop. They didn't even have shoulder pads on. Just
we got to slow down. But I just like these rankings is much to do about nothing. But I'm like, to me, it is what it is. If we feel like Jalen should get more respect and this and that, then I think people just got to be honest about what the criteria for a lot of these lists. And team success isn't always the number one thing because it's just not. They viewing it as more of the individual contribution. So
yeah,
that's it. That's how it go. And if we look at the individual contribution in terms of numbers and stuff like that, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be until, like you said, you get that 4,000-yard season, you get the, maybe the MVP type year. You get that, and I'm more than willing. Like, if he does that this year, when they do these lists next year, regardless of what happens, I'm pretty sure he'll be way higher than what he is now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's all. But that was that. I was gonna ask you too, real quick. I don't know how much you've been keeping up, but who you got in the World Cup final on Sunday? I don't know if you've been keeping up to this point.
Ooh.
Argentina and Spain. They play Sunday in the final.
You know what? Spain looks so damn good, but man, it's hard to go against Messi, man.
It sure is.
Messi is. Listen, I'm working on a video about Messi right now, dude.
Oh, for real?
Dude, it's an apology. It's an apology, man, because Messi been at Miami FC for like what, the last 5 years?
3-4 years, yeah.
Man, and like when I see Messi is basically Michael Jordan.
Pretty much.
He's that good. Like I was trying to think of like who would be the comp for a lot of these soccer players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I look at what's the name? Zlatan?
Yeah, Zlatan.
Zlatan. Like who would be Zlatan? Zlatan would be the most arrogant player. That would be like a Carmelo or somebody that just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
But and then you look at Thierry Henry, he's like Steph.
Yeah.
But then you see like Messi, man, and for Messi to be under Ronaldinho, and then like when you saw Ronaldinho, you just thought that was the nastiest dude I've ever seen in my life, and then Messi came in, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So I'm working on the video, man, where it's just like, a big ass apology. Like I did not recognize your game.
No, that I mean, it's a lot of people, especially at his age. He's 39 and he's still doing what he's doing, and like it ain't that he's doing it in some low level. I mean, this is it. This is the highest.
This is the highest. This is the
highest it gets in any sport.
Yeah. And it's funny, man, because I'm like, damn, he been over here, and I ain't never. Shit, when Miami played Philly, man. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if I try to get tickets just to be able to see somebody like that play.
It's I saw somebody, they was on TikTok and they were kind of joking about it, but they're kind of telling the truth. Like for us that are younger, or even the people that are in this generation that can watch this live, like when we have kids or whenever they ask us, like, what was this team like? What was Messi like? We'll talk about him the same way people talk about Pele and some of the other people that we didn't get to see live, but that's the type of aura that he has now, to where you'll tell the kids and your grandkids that never saw him live, you'll tell them like, man, I remember in 2020, carried that team to the final in America. That's how it'll be.
Because when I was coming up, it was all Pele. Pele was the only soccer player you ever heard of.
Yep.
Pele was the only international player. Like I never heard of what's his name? Diego Maradona.
Yeah,
I saw that dude the other day. I was like, who the hell is this?
yeah.
And the first person I thought of, I was like, that's Allen Iverson right there.
Yeah.
Because they can't stop him.
Couldn't stop him.
He's short, they can't stop him, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that is funny you bring him up because on the topic a little bit of Messi, it's like that because they're from the same country. So that was the guy, like, I don't know if there's a football. It's almost like, okay, you remember in Green Bay when they went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, that kind of thing? It was kind of like that for a minute where it was like before Messi won this World Cup, it was like, hey, man, we had Maradona and he did this for us. Like, what's up with you? Why you ain't bringing it home? So he kind of dealt with that for a long time with some of the people in his country where it was like, you good, but you ain't, until you do what Maradona did for us in 1986 when they won, you ain't really, you aren't going to get that type of recognition. And sure enough, here we are years later. And I think he's done more than his part for sure.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting, that final on Sunday. Because I think it's in New York? I think they playing at MetLife.
Man, they playing at MetLife. Man. They should have kept it at the Link, or they should have played at SoFi.
They should have played at SoFi or at the Link. I think that would have been straight. I think the only thing with SoFi, I don't know what the weather like now, but they had that France game a few weeks back where they had the rainstorm during the game. And I don't know.
I mean, that's the chance you take.
That's the chance you take. I mean, that can happen at MetLife too, technically. But I wish they'd have kept it at SoFi. That'd have been smooth. But we got the Super Bowl next year. I guess they couldn't spoil us too much. They couldn't. We got the Super Bowl next year, and then the year after that, we got the Olympic, the basketball finals, like right across the street at the Intuit Dome. So we can't be spoiled too much out here.
Nah, man, y'all got it, and then y'all got the new golf league out there now.
Oh yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Man, it's a lot.
I watched a couple matches of that. That golf stuff is. I like golf, so that, and plus the technology and the AI stuff that's involved in it, that interests me. That stuff is ridiculous, man.
It is.
That stuff is ridiculous. So
yeah, the one thing I did want to ask you though, back on the original topic a little bit, where I know you're not big on the rankings, but where would you put Jalen if you did a hypothetical? I know you ain't got the whole thing right now. If you did a hypothetical, where would you have Jalen right now?
I would probably put Jalen somewhere between 7 and 10.
In terms of all the QBs?
Yeah, I need a whole list of them because I'm like, and then
it's kind of tough off the top of the head, I know.
Yeah, and like maybe you didn't hear me in the beginning. I was like, when they make these lists, they need to have an asterisk that says these lists are compiled specifically by height, weight, arm strength, accuracy, and what your draft potential was. Because all of that stuff seems to go into it, except the thing that matters the most and how you win games in the playoffs.
Yeah, I do think they need to. I think they should do that. Honestly, they need to put out like a filler or whatever they call it. They need to put something out before they drop that list. Like, this is the criteria that we go by, so people have a better understanding. Because I think
here's the problem.
Guessing.
They do when it's somebody they want to pump. When they want to talk about Josh Allen, they will bring out every metric. They will talk about every attribute, how he runs, how he throws, how selfless he is, how physical he is. They bring all of that into the picture.
Right.
But if you want to put them same adjectives to work on Jalen Hurts, then those same things become negatives. So it all depends on who's telling the story.
True.
So it's they move the goalposts and they push it back and they pull it forward. It all depends on who they talking to, and it all depends on who doing the talking.
Facts. But I actually had low-key thought about you in this sense, right? Because I think they look at it as strictly the individual. Because I said you for this reason, right? You played at the highest level. You got to a level that most people don't. You played for the Birds. You're a running back, right? But I'm pretty sure there were guys that when you were in high school, when you were in college, they probably had more wins than you. Technically, they might have won more championships, but they didn't get to the level that you got as an individual. And there's certain traits that you had that allowed you to succeed that maybe they didn't have. So I think that's kind of always what it's been with sports, where it's like when we talk about individuals, collective success is important, but people don't necessarily look at that when we measure individuals. It can play a part, but that ain't always the end. Because like I said with you, I'm pretty sure there might have been guys who technically won more games in college or went to bigger schools and did certain things, but your individual standout ability got you to the next level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And they look at it like Jalen, we won a lot, but they're looking at it like, well, we've known the issues a million times and all the different concerns with the passing game, but they're like, those other guys, like Josh Allen is a league MVP or Lamar's a league. They're looking at it purely individually, fair or not. And I'm just like, I don't know if it's fair, but like I said, I don't know how to argue, knowing how they think of them lists. If I look at what we've been doing strictly in the department of passing and whatnot, I don't know. Like, how can we, because I look at the other guys, like some of the guys on defense, they're ranked pretty highly at like Quinyon and Coop, both in the top 10. Not that those lists are the end all be all. Jordan Davis, Zach Bond, I think was rated third in linebackers. So they're like, those guys at their position, they feel like whatever they put on tape or whatever numbers they got, they're rated high enough for them to put them in those high level categories.
Well, look, think about it like this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you got to look at, okay, what are they measuring? And this is close to home for me. How you going to rank Joe Burrow above Jalen Hurts? Based on what he did 3-4 years ago?
That's a fair point. I mean, Joe's hurt a lot, so I don't even know why he should be.
But there you go. Exactly. That's precisely my point. That's precisely my point. So there's that leash. There's that leash I tell you about. How you gonna put Trevor Lawrence on there? What has Trevor Lawrence ever done?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. That was.
How many playoff games has Trevor Lawrence won?
I think one.
One game.
One game. I think when they came back on Justin Herbert of all. So people.
How do you? Justin Herbert's another one. So. Again, when you're looking at the leash that some of these guys get, it just seems like the optics are that everybody don't get that same leash.
No, they don't.
That's what it seems like. So,
they don't.
But at the end of the day, it's all clickbait now. It's all something to talk about because now for the last 3 years since 2022, 2023, 24, 25, and this year. Every time we have a preseason, Jalen Hurts is always at the bottom of the list. Yeah, he's okay, but he shouldn't be higher than this. Well, there's always a reason, and that's okay.
Sure. I think the first Super Bowl we got to, I think going into that next year, he was rated like third in the league, though. He was rated really high that year, like 20. The first year with AJ, that little ranking that they did, he was ranked third.
Well, going into 23.
Yeah, going.
Yeah, but it was but remember what the narrative was. The narrative was how hard it was to get back to a Super Bowl after you lost your first one.
Right.
So they didn't know, and remember that was before we had Saquon.
Right. That was when we had DeAndre Swift going into that year, I think.
Right. So we didn't know what we was going to get.
Right.
And he was coming off number 2 in the MVP voting.
Right.
But even then, they still doubted him.
Yeah, but see, they doubted him, but I feel like even what you said, because it was true, everything you're saying is true. They did say it's hard to get back and this and that. But even though they doubted maybe if a collective could get back, they still looked at him and said, man, he was second in the league in MVP. Even if they didn't win the Super Bowl, they were like, he was still balling that year. And I think that's how they've always kind of been, where it's like the team success is part of it, but they looking strictly at the individual performance, regardless of position. And there were those doubts for sure. They said you can't get back and this and that. But even I'll admit to you, the first Super Bowl run that we got to with Jalen in the last couple years, I'm not saying that he's not the same player, but we ain't seen that. That level of play. The MVP type level of play. Because 2022 was a whole different level. Like he was great that year, spectacular. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying because of the concerns with the OCs and whatnot. I don't think we
you know what? And we talked about this a lot during the season. I didn't, I'm not that quick to drop everything on Kevin Patullo.
Oh no.
But when after you've had some time away from it,
and
you see what everybody else is doing and what they have done, a lot of that shit was on Kevin Patullo.
Hell yeah, it was.
A lot of that was very like it says in my intro, he was playing checkers and everybody else was playing chess.
Yeah, I think
and we was losing the chess match. So
I think the only thing, just wraps up. But I think the only thing with him is my only sort of critique is that I think it's I think it's pretty much agreeing with what you said. I do think not all of it was his fault because hey, if we had the offensive line rolling and Saquon was running crazy again, that masks for a lot of issues. Obviously.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely,
my thing is, if you're not prepared for, teams taking that away, and that was my thing where it's like, y'all had all off season, y'all knew the entire league. Because when you win a Super Bowl, everybody's picking from you. They take your players, your coaches, and they trying to look at how did this team be successful and how can we stop that? They knew Saquon, the entire league was fixated on not letting Saquon run the Eagles to another Super Bowl. That was the whole thing coming in. And I'm like, all off season, there was no level of adjustments or improvement in passing concepts or whatever to where if Saquon doesn't have the 2,000-yard year, can we still, like you said, be able to win the chess match? Those kinds of things is where I feel like he didn't help improve the offense none. Now, like you said, though, the crutch is, well, I didn't have the healthy offensive line to take the pressure off me. So, it goes back and forth, but all that's water under the bridge now because we got a new OC and we'll see what he do with what he got.
Yep. We 2 weeks away, man. So we'll
yes,
see.
sir. Appreciate you always, Coach.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say WIP is to blame for a lot of Hurts hate on a national level? No. Because they create all these narratives about him. No, it doesn't help. But I wouldn't say that WIP is to blame for it. Because there's a lot of people on WIP that like Jalen Hurts and are pro Hurts. So, no, but what they tend to do is every now and then the national media will take a sample of something from WIP or 94.5 and they'll roll with that. And it'll be one of them situations like, hey, even in Philadelphia, their own stations, their own people, their own fans. So every now and then it happens, but I'm not going to put that all on WIP. That's been happening, They was doing that with Randall, my quarterback. So, the ultimate weapon. And then what did they say? Randall can never get to the big game for whatever reason. And then when you see what happened when he got to Minnesota, when you get a good OC and you got Randy Moss and Chris Carter and you got some players that can complement your skill set. So, and then of course he loses because of the kicker. But in any case, they just look tired, man. Indiana just lost this game 88-75. Natalie Nakase has got Indiana Fever's number. She does. She's got Indiana Fever's number. So yeah, man, I don't blame that on WIP. Not in the least bit. Not in the least bit. So they don't help sometimes, but I'm not gonna put all the blame on them. So but Buddy had no respect for the offense. He didn't. He didn't. I didn't play for Buddy Ryan, but most of the captains and the defense that I played with did play with Buddy because Buddy was on everybody's tongues when I got there, and Buddy, I was there Kotite's second year, so they still wasn't crazy about him, and it was what it was. Bud Carson was still there, so the defense was still tight. Defense was still hella good. Seth, Clyde, Byron Evans, Willie T, Eric Allen, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins, Rich Miano, The Fridge, Clyde Simmons, Mark Bavaro. Who else was there? Gerald Nichols, Keith Millard. Trying to think other vets. Mark McMillan, Eric McMillan. Yeah, we had a lot of good guys, man. The defense was still super tight. And then, of course, Randall was there. Herschel Walker was there. I was there, but I'm nobody. Vaughn Hebron, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, Brian Baldinger. Like, I'm thinking about some of the guys I played with, man. And I played with Brian Baldinger. I played with The Fridge. I played with Seth Joyner, Byron Evans, Clyde Simmons. I played with one Hall of Famer, and well, technically two, because I played with Eric Allen, who's a Hall of Famer. Should have been in the Hall of Fame like 10 years ago. And I played with James Lofton, who's a Hall of Famer. He was in there for a minute, came in there, broke a record, and then went somewhere else. Who else is in the Hall from those Eagles? I played with Brian Baldinger, but Brian Baldinger might be in the Broadcast Hall of Fame. Baldy is the ish on analysis, man. Him and Greg Cosell. I'm trying to think anybody else that made the Hall. I don't think so. So, but yeah, man, played with a good group, and back then we didn't worry about rankings. You worried about what was going to happen when the season started, and that was it, man. That was it. So, all right, y'all, I'm about to land this plane. I got to shoot another video right after this about this WNBA game going off. So, got a lot of stuff going on, man. Listen, I was out for one day. I was sick for one day, and then I come back, and it seemed like everything done gone to shit. Like, what happened? I was like, what happened, man? It's amazing. Like, so yesterday I was sick, so I didn't do anything. I canceled my podcast with Tone. I didn't watch TV. I wasn't on the internet. Like, I was laid out. I had some type of bug. It knocked me out, right? But I still, I'm laying in bed. The only thing I can really do, the only thing I got energy to do was look at my phone every now and then. And I still see the Twitter feed coming in, and I can still see what everybody's talking about. And it is very interesting to see how that world works when you are not necessarily forced, but when you don't get the visual media and you just see what everybody's texting on social media and how that's working, man. It's funny how these narratives and how the trends, how they go and how they stop. So very interesting, man. So we'll talk about that pretty soon. But I'm gonna have some more stuff for you. Got some more drone footage for you. Let me know what you like about the drone stuff. Working on some more graphics, trying to make it pretty for you, trying to make it live. So I appreciate the feedback. Keep checking it out. Spread the word. And yeah. What's today? Wednesday? Yep. We are scheduled to do it again tomorrow. And as long as I'm feeling good, we shall. All right. Y'all have a good night. And we will be another day closer to camp start. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it done. Go Birds.
Yo, 2026 and the link is feeling cold. Last year is done, new story getting told. Jalen under fire, say his vision's getting tight. They say he's uncoachable, can't get right. AJ in New England, now that deal is done. Lemons got the green light, pick that number one. Benny in the coordinator, put your fears to rest. Patello playing checkers, why this dude is playing chess. AJ finally traded and the hype train's broke. Rabel's back to coaching and Buzzini's catching smoke. 10 toes down with the Eagles on the scene. Ain't no time for fakers cause your boy is bleeding green. Sources leaking stories but you know it's all cap. Coach Marcus on the mic and he's shooting all facts. Search trending topics, information moving slow. Pro fan talk, always keep you in the know. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw. With the real ones bar. From the birds to the league, we gon' cover it all. Hit the bell, that's law. Break it down from the film to the box score raw.